Your ideas prior to going. Come in.
Hi, it's me. Hey. How are you?
Good to see you.
I thought I'd come back and talk to you guys about the opera and all the stuff that went on, but hold on a minute. I forgot something. I'll be back in a minute. Hey, I got a surprise for you. Come on, yes. All right, we are here with 3 of the stars from Agrippina, the opera you all saw last week. What I would like to do is introduce each of them to you. I want you guys to start thinking about some questions that you want to ask them, and about the opera, and just things in general about what we talked about last week and your drawings and things like that. So, first of all, we have Jeffrey Halili, who played Nero. We have Derek Parker, who played Claudio. And we have Jane Redding, who played Poppaea. Poppaea, okay. I knew I would screw that up.
It's okay.
So Poppaea. Thank you very, very much for coming here today.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. I know you guys appreciate it too, right? Very cool.
Is it hard to sing in another language? Probably when we all started out, it was a little awkward, but I mean, we've all been doing it for a while, and we've all been through, you know, training, university, different types of training, and we've studied all the Romance languages. So, actually, no. I mean, each language has its benefits, I think.
I know that, of course, since it's a different language, that it would probably take a long time. But how long does it take you guys to learn the language that you're singing your opera in?
Yeah. Like, for instance, well, I'll go.
You go.
I just did a, well, it wasn't an opera, it was a concert, but it was Shostakovich, which is in Russian, Symphony number 13. So, that's a lot different than Italian, French, German. Vowels that we don't have in our language, consonants, I mean, it's just, woo. Now, I will confess, I knew loosely what I was saying, but I didn't know necessarily word for word. It was so hard just to be able to pronounce it. So that was months of just, for one performance, of work. And it was a lot.
Is it difficult, or I mean, is there a big difference between the operatic dialect, like, or what you would hear if you like overheard a conversation in an Italian cafe? Is there a really large difference there from what you're actually singing?
Well, with Agrippina especially, the closest analogy I can think of is this kind of Italian is sort of like Shakespeare, where, you know, the word order is completely different, and some of the words are antiquated. So, you know, it's the Italian version of saying, you know, thou hast maimed me or something like that. It's done in around Shakespeare's time.
Right.
If you think about, you know, the later operas, it's a little more colloquial, it's a little more casual sounding. It's, you know, you would understand it easier.
It's not necessarily required as an opera singer to take acting classes. What we usually have is like movement classes, also scene classes where you will learn a scene and you would act and you would work on the acting part of it. But it's in school they tend to really focus on the singing and the language, and which I think is actually a mistake. I think acting should be a part of it.
I was a sophomore in undergrad, and my teacher was also the head of the was the general director of Buffalo Opera Company, and he had someone doing a role who canceled the week before the performance.
Ooh, wow.
And he called me up. He was just like, "Do you think you can learn this in a week?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I can try." And so I did my debut at 19. in a Wagnerian opera.
Whoa.
Die Fliegende Holländer.
Oh,
Wow.
So I always joke that if I ever had students, I'll be like, you know, if they ever complained about, you know, oh, I can't sing this is too heavy, or I can't do this, I'll be like, damn it, you can do it, because I sang Wagner at 19. So that's my story. But it's an exception to the rule. More often than not, it's you know,
later.
professional gigs happen when you're, you know, past your undergrad, when you've graduated and you're doing either your master's or whatever. So.
I have to say, I really enjoy the scene. Well, I enjoy the scenes with Claudio and sort of confusing him and like misleading him. But I really enjoyed the scene with Soo Jung Kim, the Agrippina, the tea scene and the cognac scene.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I don't have to sing a note, but I love that scene because I'm just like, I just get to be really silly, and she always pours the glass really high, and I'm like, I want to kill her. I can't believe she's poured all this liquid. And there were a lot of stereotypes about, you know, the lady, we call it park and bark. She parks herself and just sings, you know. That day is sort of over. No more parking and barking.
Yeah, no more horns.
You gotta like look
no
the
more,
part,
no, none
and
of
you
that.
gotta be saying something.
But because of your participation in the show,
It made it
things
fun.
like in that bedroom scene, it was bedlam. We started adding stuff, and you guys were we were feeding off you guys, and it was it was a magical experience. It really was for us. So thank you.
But this particular opera is a comedy, but I think what made it even funnier was the way the director chose to stage it.
You know, all of us do a lot of breath exercises, though. I mean, you don't push. The idea is to support, and the more.
Yeah, you project.
Yeah, and it's more of a support than a push. I mean, you don't want to get involved muscularly up here. So we were all work for a lot of, you know, freedom and relaxation in the instrument.
Instead of you know,
Some exercises that I do to sort of find that thing is money, 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 money.
Money.
Why does it hurt when I pee? Why does it hurt when I pee?
If I want to listen to music, I probably would put on like Ella Fitzgerald or something like that. I don't really listen to like, yeah, Ella. I like Billie Holiday. I like, you know, those ladies. That's my idea.
it depends on what I'm doing. I like R&B, I like gospel, I like jazz.
I like gospel too.
I listen to everything. So my favorite probably is Kurt Franklin.
I used to be a big clubber in high school.
In high school?
In high school. So like,
See, I
you
don't
know,
even know that
I'm
term.
all about like house, hip hop, R&B, and all that stuff. But classical music is something, you know, that is very close to my heart as well. And you know, what can I say? I like both.
I thought it was different because they had a lot of hot guys and they were taking off their shirts.
I thought it was different because it was funny.
That was different because it was very enjoyable. It was like very, you know, amusing. I didn't think it was gonna be that funny.
I thought it was different because the costumes were great, the people were good.
I thought it was different because of the storyline. It actually made me laugh.
I thought it was different because their voices were more beautiful than I could have imagined.
It was scandalous and extremely hilarious.
The tenors could hit higher notes than I could.
It was definitely more modern than I had expected. The set was great, and the costumes were very modern too.
It was funny to me, but I didn't see Oprah. It was very comical and it wasn't boring.
Didn't see Oprah, didn't get the car I want, but Aquafina was really nice. She really was.
The characters was nice.
There are no fat ladies.
It put West Side Story to shame.
It was hilarious.
It was better than The Sopranos on A&E.
It was something new to do instead of going to the movies each Saturday.
There was only a few old people.
It displays many of the myths that we have talked about concerning opera, and it was like an episode of Desperate Housewives.
Thank you for joining me and the high school students on our journey through the opera. As you saw, they had a wonderful time. And even though opera is a classic, the future of opera and all the arts is definitely through our kids.